All right. So today we're going to talk about the importance of the database and the communication and the way that we do communicate with our database and why that's important, right? So you guys have heard of the DTD2 process, right? We mention it all the time, and all it stands for is do the database, and the number two is just it's just a second version of what Keller Williams had come out with regarding a systematic approach to communicating with the database, right? So I'm going to I'm going to use our website a lot because I want you to see that the resources are there and available to us, okay? Um, so when I go into the team portal, you've got the table of contents and you've got under D, you've got the DTD2, the explanation here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll need to share your screen.
Great.
Thank you.
Guess I should share my screen. So when you go into the team portal, which I just closed out, you would go into the table of contents, right? And then under D, you'd go to do the database too. There's actually a couple different links. This one is the explanation on it from the never-ending referral system. And it's essentially the point of it is how do you create connection, strong enough connection within your database to create more referrals out of the database, right? Um, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book that Gary Keller had written, right? One of the research that they said is that if you connect with someone 33 to 36 times in a year, that you would get a certain amount of return out of the database, right? And now I think the number is like 1 to 10. So for every 10 contacts in your database, you could potentially get either a referral or a transaction. One, okay? If they're consistently being communicated to over the course of the year. Now, the 36 touch, it says 33, it's elevated to 36. Now the conversation is maybe it's probably closer to like 52 touches, right? The point of it is that a lot of it is systematized through our processes, right? With Brivity, we use Brivity a lot to systematize touches throughout the year. So they're going to get communications. They're getting if they have addresses, they're getting market reports. They're getting listing alerts set up from us. So those are different touches and communications. We've got newsletters that go out at least once a month to them now, to our database. But the part that's a lot of people miss, right? And they depend too much on the systems is that there has to be some type of a personal interaction between you and the person in the database to really cement that connection, right? And so that's what the DTD2 system is meant to. It's meant to give us some kind of a process to go through the database in its entirety within the year, and create those connections, right? And so when you go through the alphabet, there's 26 letters in the alphabet, right? And so with the database, with the DTD2 system, basically it's two letters that you focus on for the week, right? And when you do the two letters for the week, that condenses the alphabet to 13 weeks in the year. It's about four times with 50, with 52 weeks in a year. It's about four times that you would be able to go through a database, 3 to 4 times that you'd be able to should be able to get through the database throughout the year. So that means if you're doing this right, you should be talking to everybody in your database 3 to 4 times a year minimum, on top of the communications that they're getting, right? They're getting invited to seminars, they're getting invited to events, they're getting the listing alerts, they're getting the newsletters. So it's really hard to forget who you are, right? it's really hard to forget that you're a realtor if they're getting that constant communication from us. Okay. The other thing that making you go through the 2 letters a week and forcing you to focus on A and W, right? So A and W is the first set of letters. And the pairing of the letters is supposed to be based on some mathematical calculations on, what letters would be best paired together to maximize the pairings. But so don't get caught up on that. But the point is that, A and W is the first week. So that's all you have to focus on for the 1 week, which means that you're not meant to skip names, right? You keep finding yourself skipping a name, that means that they're not truly a database contact, right? So maybe they shouldn't be in your database. Or maybe you should just call them and say hello. We haven't spoken in a long time. And I hope it's okay that we reconnect, right? That's the point. You'd be surprised how many of those people, first of all, don't realize that they haven't talked to you in 5 years, right? And how many of them are happy if they're truly database people, like people that you've known, you've met, and you've liked at some point. How many of those people um, would be happy to hear from you, right? So the other thing that is while we focus a lot on the phone calls for the database, the DTD2, there is you are able to use that same system for your database as well, for the social media as well, right? So um going through and using that week and saying, okay, for well, A and W this week, uh, I can use to focus on people in my social media, so on Facebook or Instagram, right? So who's A and W here, like that I can go to and maybe make a comment on their posts, look to see if they're posting anything and make comments, and using that as a different way to connect with them specifically, because as you interact with them, now they start seeing your posts, right? And so the posts that you're putting out, you're ending up on their feeds. And so slowly but surely, as you're doing that throughout the year, you're now on their feeds, and the stuff that you're putting out has more impact because they're seeing your stuff, right? Um, let's see here. The other things that you can do, and it talks about this a little bit, and why that focus. A and W, who else do you know that is not in your database right now that you could be adding into your database that may have those letters, right? It could be going back to your phone. Who's in here that maybe not be in my database yet that I should be reaching out to, that I can be adding to my database, right? And allowing you to just to focus on those for this cycle. Maybe there's a cycle where all you focus on is who I can add to my database, right? And who I can be reaching out to that might be specific to these letters. And also, as you're going through, an opportunity to, what information am I missing? Okay? So am I missing an email? Am I missing an address that I can add? So as you're having these conversations, we do market reports, right? And we do send out market reports for your house and for your neighborhood. Is that something that you might be interested in getting periodically? And you'll be surprised how many people say yes, right? And so the more data you get as you go through this database and go through your contacts, the stronger your database will be, the more referrals you'll be able to get out of it over time, right? Let me, I'm going to pull up one of these other, what's the other one here? Two. So, so these are the pairings. So if you don't have the pairings, might be a good idea to just print it out and make sure that you have it available to you. Um, what week are we in this week, Marissa? And Marissa is also really good about tracking um, the letters that are we're focusing on for the week. So you could always reach out to Marissa, hey, what letters are we doing this week? Right? And staying to help her, she can help stay on top of that as well.
I'm assuming, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
I'm assuming that on Brevity, we're able to filter it that way, like A and W, and it'll give us, okay.
Yeah.
We are.
That's what, yeah, that's what I would have done for your database, Jenny. When we added them, I would have tagged them already.
Okay.
And we are in week 5, C and K.
CNK. Okay. So that's the schedule. So make sure you have that available to you as well. Um, as I, and you're like, okay, well, if I'm calling them 4 times a week, like what am I saying to them? What conversations? Because I don't want to feel like I'm bothering them. That's always right. That's always the one of the objections for that's always one of the objections for wanting to call. Where is what did oh, for wanting to call. Now, this is this is what we call a care call, and this is a conversation guideline for a call that you might be able to have with somebody in your database, just basically checking in on what they're doing, how they're doing. Um, this one gives some information about rates and all that, but I'll be honest, I prefer, especially if it's just your first time connecting with someone in the database for a while, I prefer just you checking in and asking how they're doing, right? Like what's going on in their life, what's going on in their world, and making notes on it, by the way, so that the next time use Brivity to put those notes in, right? So that the next time you talk to them, you already have some kind of point of reference to be able to say, "Oh, your daughter graduated. How did that go? She was graduating. How did that graduation go?" And like just to be able to remember those kinds of things is really helpful, really important. There's an acronym that we use to help you as far as what are questions, guiding questions. See if I have. Um, let's see if I can find it here. But basically, it's Ford, F-O-R-D, right? And so when I'm thinking about what questions to ask, I'm asking about family, F, right? So, how's your family? How's your children? How's your mom? How's your parents? Like anything you may know about them, that's usually where I start. Just, because I'm always thinking about my family anyways. So naturally I'll ask, how are things going? How's your family doing? Right? Occupation, it could be, how's work going? Were you able to get that promotion that we were talking about? You know, um, anything that's impacting their work life or whatever, just asking about how that's going. R is recreation. Like, you guys have any travel plans coming up? Any vacation coming up? You know, I know that your kids were playing ball. Like, how's that going? Like, fun things in their life. Like, what are they enjoying? What they may. asking about, well, you have any hobbies? Like, what do you enjoy doing? That may help you connect with them in some way, shape, or form, right? And that this is something conversations that you can have with clients too as you're interacting with them, right? And so more that you learn about them on the personal level, the easier this conversation becomes later as they become part of your DTD2 cycle in the future, right? And then dreams. What are their dreams? What future aspirations, right? Like when would what real estate, their real estate dreams is one, right? And we certainly want to know what their real estate goals are for the year. That's why I love the beginning of the year because it's so easy to say, we're in the new year. First time I've had a chance to talk to you this year. Do you have any real estate goals that I might be able to help you with this year, right? So those are the dreams, those are the goals that they have that you can ask about. Okay. Any any thoughts or questions on what I've said so far? Because I know I've been talking.
No, I'm taking notes.
I'm good too, Val.
Um,
I was going to
well,
reiterate about yes, because we're in January, February. Now is a great time to make those calls. How was your holidays and, that kind of thing as well, because it's the beginning of the year.
absolutely. Right. And when we're talking about connecting with them 3 or 4 times throughout the year, right? We're also so you've got to have a reason to call, right? And so that first conversation may be easy in saying, I'm just trying to reconnect, right? And I'm doing my care call, seeing how you're doing. It's been so long. How's your family? How's work? Right? Any vacations coming up? Anything fun planned? And any goals that you've got that you're trying to pursue right now. So those are things that you can talk about in that first conversation. But in conversation 2, 3, and 4, you may want to get a little creative, a little different, right? Now, because we are a team that does events and activities, you could pull from those to be able to have to talk about, hey, we have our team has a homebuyer seminar coming up, whether you're leading it or not, right? Being able to tell them we have a seminar coming up. Do you know anybody that might benefit from having this information that we might be able to send an invitation to, or are you interested, right? And so you can use some of these events. We have a movie event throughout, one time during the year. We have different events that we do that you can invite people to on these calls. Or one of the things that I like as far as a different point of conversation is, have you had any five-star experiences with a vendor that that we should know about? Because we keep, I refer a lot, and I like to be a resource to our clients in our database, and so we're looking for people to add to our list, our vendor list, right? And so I'm just looking for really good people. Do you have you had any great experiences, any five-star experiences that I should know about? Especially contractors, plumbers, electricians, but even doctors and as people, we have people moving to the area, would definitely love to know who are some of the people that you love working with, right? Or even some of the restaurants that you like to have, like Josie loves featuring um, restaurants and good places to go on social media. So having that to share is great. Whatever we can glean and get from our database. And the whole point of it is just to have conversation, just to be able to stay top of mind. Because typically what happens is people like to be reciprocal in conversations. If you ask them how they're doing, how work is going and how things are going, more than likely they'll ask you how things are going with you. And so when you're trying to figure out how to bring up real estate, most of the time they're the ones that bring it up. How's the market, right? Like, how are things going? How's the business? Like, are you still in real estate? Yeah, absolutely, I am. And this is what I've got going on. I just joined this team, and I've got access to all these resources, and I'm really excited. And, I'd love to be able to, I've got a, great goal this year. Want to be able to help 24 people uh, with moving and any way that you can help me out. Do you know anybody? Um, one script I really enjoy doing is, we got this from Bold, and it's a contest script. Basically, is I'm in this contest, and I need 10 referrals in order to win this contest. And so because I'm really competitive, I'm reaching out to you guys, the people in my database, everybody I know. Do you know anybody that you can refer or that is looking for real estate help that I can connect with? Because I need these 10 referrals, right? Um, I've used that script with people that I talk to like all the time, and they'll come up with somebody, and I'm like, why didn't this come up in any other conversation, right? Like one person I was working with, right? She was my client, and because I'm not actively asking her for the referral, it's not coming up until I say, hey, do you know anybody? Well, yeah, my brother wants to buy. Like literally that was, wow, my brother is going to be looking to buy and he could use that. Like, when was that going to come up, right? So, uh, when you think just because they know you are a realtor doesn't mean they're thinking about you at the right time and at the time that someone else in their world is going to need it. But true to form, they're going to know, everybody knows other people that at some point throughout the year that is going to have a real estate transaction, right? At least 3 to 5 people throughout the year, they're going to know. We're trying to get in front of them at the right times, and that's why we're consistently connecting with them throughout the year because timing is everything with some people, right? So if you reach them at the right time, you may be able to get that referral. You earn that referral because you're staying top of mind and you're staying in touch with them. So, um, the other point I want to make about the DTD2 here, or if in the playbook here, the other point I want to make is the the focus that we have on the DTD2s for the week, right? The A and W. It's about being able to communicate and contact this person, use this week to try and make multiple attempts as well, right? So, um, this is a playbook in here. I wanted to pull this up before we end this because this has some different conversations that you're able to pull up and use. Um, this has different types of I used F.O.R.D. Frog is a different method that pretty much is the same, has the same result. Um, and but this is a playbook that you're able to come back to. Uh, with the DTD2 method, the goal is to make 3 attempts, okay, for the week.
Mm.
So, for instance, right, I'm trying to reach out to Mr. Anderson, right? Right, Anthony Anderson. And so I make a call. I don't connect with Anthony. He doesn't pick up. So um I keep going through. Now tomorrow I may text Anthony and say, "Hey, was just reaching out, wanting to connect. When would be a great time for us to be able to connect?" Or, "Hey, Anthony, it's been a really long time. Was just reaching out to say hello. Hope all is well," right? And that might be Anthony's kind of impetus to respond. Maybe he doesn't respond to the first one because he's busy or whatever, and so he may respond to the second one. By the end of the week, you're still going to have people that haven't connected, right? And so as you're going through day one, you're making those calls. Second attempt, maybe day two or three, you're making those text messages. So by day four and five, those people that you haven't reached, right? You're reaching out to them. You're either calling them again, right? Or you're reaching out to them. It used to be that we might send them an email because some of them we don't have, um, we may not have a good number for, realizing that the number may not be good. We may send them an email. If you have them on social media, you may send them a private message. But the point is making multiple attempts. You may make another phone call, right? So that because that person might have been busy at the beginning of the week, and maybe now at the end of the week, you've caught them at the right time. If we don't reach them by that third attempt, we leave them for the next cycle. Now, what may happen is there are going to be people, it may take you two or three cycles before they respond because of life, because of whatever. Um, sometimes they think that all we want to do is talk about real estate, and they're not ready to talk about real estate. And they end up reaching back out to you when they are finally ready to talk about real estate because they want to talk about it, but they feel like they're not ready to. That's usually actually oftentimes I find the ones that are harder to reach is because they actually do want to talk to you, but they feel like they're not ready to talk to you. Weirdest thing, right? And yet that's the truth of it. So never take it personally when you can't connect with someone. Make your attempts and find different ways that you're able to connect with them, whether it be making the phone call, sending out a message, text message, um, sending out an email, hey, hope all is well, right? Or a private message on social media.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, I just wanted to mention, sorry,
sure.
with the updated DTD2 list, they actually include a text letter.
There is
So
a text letter.
there's a text
You
letter
are
as
right.
well, so that instead, not just making calls, but you can easily just text the letter so that you can make sure they have some sort of communication, not just a call. And I mean, whoever has emails as well too, you can use that opportunity to send an email as well.
Yeah, I was expecting to see it on that form, on that sheet, because I know that there was
And
another
we have it,
updated
it's
one. We'll
updated. Yeah. Mhm.
we'll have her to update that because there is that as well. But the the whole point of the DTD2 and the database is making connections, right? Building those connections by communicating and reaching out. You cannot solely rely on electronic communications, the email, the automated email. They know it's automated, right? So you've got to make the personal touches throughout the year. And we're talking about three or four touches throughout the year, personal touches. We're not talking about a lot to be able to solidify and cement the relationships that you've already built. You've already built them. They're in your database for a reason. You've met them at some point. And so do yourself the benefit and the favor of keeping in contact with them. And the conversation is not meant to be, we're not talking about half-hour conversations here. We're talking about a couple minutes where you're connecting with them, checking in, letting them know that you're still here for them as a friend, as an agent, as a connection for them, a resource in any way, shape, or form that they need you to be. So that's it on the conversation for now on the database. Any final thoughts or questions?
I do have a question, or more like asking for tips. Like how do you convert a renter to a buyer who's scared to purchase? Like that's their main thing. Oh, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready. That's what they keep. But I know that they're ready.
Well, I don't know. You don't know their whole story. You don't know what's going on in the background. So it may just be having asking good questions, right? They may not know that they may not need any money down. right, in order to buy. So asking the questions, how much do you think that you need in order to buy, right? Most people can buy with less than $5,000 in the bank, right? So how much do you think you need? Do you know that you can get a loan with almost no money down, right? So, can I ask how much you have saved in savings to work with? I'll ask these questions to really get a sense of what the gap might be. Okay. What do you have an idea of where your credit score is? Like, what's your credit score? I mean, you probably pulled credit for the rental, so you may already have an idea of what the range is, right? You know that you really only need a 580 better, 620 is better, right? If you got 620 and above, you can qualify for a mortgage. So if you know that they have those pieces, what is stopping you right now from being able to buy? And it may just be a direct question instead of renting, right? What's stopping you right now, right? If I could show you that there are houses that you may be able to buy and you may be able to qualify for, what would be stopping you from wanting to buy right now instead? There may be other circumstances that you're not privy to or you're not aware of that may be stopping them. It could be personal, may have nothing to do with the financial, right? Um, in those cases too, keeping in touch and inviting them to the seminars that we have, right? Allowing them, sometimes people just need more information, right? To feel empowered. So I need um, I need more information. I need more to understand what the next steps are going to be. So by you inviting them to those things, it'll empower them more to be ready to go because they understand more about what they're going to do. Or inviting them to, would it help you if we had a consultation? Like if we sat down and I just talked about what the home buying process looked like with you, would that be helpful? So, because it may not get them to buy today, but it may get them to buy in 3 months from now instead of a year from now. So, if you truly believe that somebody is ready or you believe that they should be ready, call them. I mean, talk to them about and ask the questions like, what's stopping you from buying right now? And how could I help you? Because I believe that you're actually a candidate for a home purchase, right? Based on what I'm seeing. So why wouldn't you buy right now? Can I just asking out of curiosity?
Okay.
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 Asking questions will get you everywhere. Lots of questions out of curiosity, right? And using that information to become a resource for them to help them to get to the end goal that they desire.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about the
Okay.
technical issues before. Thank you guys
It's
for
okay.
bearing with me. Now I gotta go. And um, any questions about what we're talking about, and if you need to revisit, this is recorded. Josie will have it available for you guys. Okay? Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
And your pictures.